So I did just finish shipping a couple of eBay packages and I realized something. So there's a lot of things that change over time, right? How we ship changes, policies change, eBay does a bunch of updates, but you know what? One thing about eBay has never, ever changed. It's still true. I kind of laughed to myself about it this morning because I think it will always be true about eBay. And that is, eBay is like a needy girlfriend. I have said that for years. If you don't pay attention to eBay, you're not going to have sales. And I figured this could easily be something that I talk about today because I personally saw a scenario happen that makes this ring true. And I know that a lot of people right now are struggling with eBay sales. You know, I don't really participate in a lot of group discussions online just because I don't really have the time to sit in reseller groups or comment back and forth about topics. But I do like to scroll groups just to kind of see what's going on with everybody because, you know, I can be out of touch with a lot of things regarding eBay and e-commerce sometimes, admittedly, because, you know, I do have a physical store now that I work from, and a lot of my business is done locally, if not 90% of my business is done locally. So, you know, I can be a little bit out of touch with what's going on with a lot of the platforms. So I find that if I go in these Facebook groups, I can kind of keep up to date on any glitches or issues that people might be having. And again, I am seeing an uptick in people talking about sales going down on eBay. And I honestly feel like that is such a common theme now. Everyone is always talking about eBay glitches and sales reflective of just no impressions on eBay, eBay's back end, eBay's algorithm, and all these things. But the one thing that I find still ringing true is that eBay's platform, eBay's algorithm, everything encompassing eBay is like a needy girlfriend. I've said that for years. She needs attention. She needs you to show her affection. She needs you to constantly remind her that you are there for her and you're constantly paying attention to what she needs, what she requires, how she feels. And this is what I mean by that, because if you're brand new to my channel, you probably haven't really ever heard me say this because it's been years since I've talked about this on my channel, but I have said it for years. So if you want eBay to perform for you, you essentially have to show it attention. You have to, you know, list things regularly. You have to make adjustments to your listing. You have to respond to messages. You have to send offers to watchers. You have to either, you know, accept or counter offers that come in. You have to do all of these tasks in order to essentially tell eBay that you are a seller that cares about making money. Because when you make money as a seller, eBay makes money off of you. So what incentive does eBay have to promote any of your listings if you're not making them any money? So all of this is to say the incident that reminded me of this fact about eBay. So as I mentioned to you guys, I'm really struggling to list on eBay. I just don't have the staff for it anymore. I have, you know, a physical store that I have to put almost all of my energy into. I do local sales on Facebook. eBay is definitely taking a back burner, but, you know, I get truckloads with some pretty good stuff in it. And so every time I find an item that I would rather put on eBay, I've just been kind of like sticking it in a corner, and it's just basically collecting dust. It's capital that's tied up. It's not, you know, doing anybody any good, just like sitting in a corner. So that's where the channel memberships and the reseller boxes have come into play. It's just basically me passing along my own personal inventory to you guys because I don't have the time to list it, and passing it along to you guys helps me out with my cash flow. It's no longer just sitting around collecting dust, yada, yada, yada. But because I haven't been listing on eBay very much, I have been brutally reminded of how I've been neglecting her, and she's been showing me with sales. So there was this incident that happened about a week ago where I was about ready to run out of the house and head to the store to start my day, and Matt asked me if I had anything to ship. And it was the craziest thing. It was like I had just now had it occur to me that I had nothing to ship. And then I was like, how long has it been since I shipped anything? So I went old school. I didn't just open up the app. I opened up my computer to look at my sales graph, and I hadn't had any new items sell in like 3 days. There was 0 sales on eBay. And this kind of made me reflect on what I had seen in Facebook groups. Because if I do have downtime and I'm kind of scrolling through the Facebook groups and I see people say that they've gone days without sales, it's like clicking in my brain. I'm like, I can relate to that. It's been 3 days since I've had an eBay sale. What the heck is going on? So I opened up my eBay app and I thought, okay, well, how many people do I have watching stuff that I can send offers to? Because if you guys don't send offers to watchers, that's definitely something that you can do to drive some sales. And you can do it in bulk on the app now. So I opened up the app. I'm like, okay, do I have any offers that I can send? And I just started looking at eBay. That's all I did. That's all I did. I just started scrolling eBay and looking at eBay, shut everything down. An hour later, I got a sale. Kid you not, it was not a sale from an offer that I sent. I did not start running any sales. I didn't list anything new on eBay. All I had done was open up the eBay app and scroll around a little bit. And it was honestly the first time I had done that in probably as long as I hadn't had a sale, if I'm being honest. But in that moment, it just clicked in my head. That is probably why I'm not having any sales. Because as I said earlier, eBay's like a needy girlfriend. If you don't pay attention to her, she's not going to produce results for you. And I couldn't even remember the last time I had even opened up the eBay app, let alone listed anything, revised anything, ran any markdown sales, did any promotions, or sent any offers to watchers. You are completely neglecting the eBay app. What incentive is there for the algorithm to put any effort into promoting your listings on their page? Does that make sense? Matt says, yeah. So now, is this a guaranteed tactic to get sales? No. There are a few things that I put a lot of stock into and I talk about it. The 2 big things that sound a little woo-woo and foo-foo to a lot of people is just opening the app and scrolling. I always find that it gives me results. And then walking around looking at your inventory. Put down in the comments below if you've ever walked around and looked at your inventory, took note of something with your eyeballs, and then suddenly it sold. Anybody? Has that happened to anybody else? It has happened to me more than once, and it's the weirdest freaking thing when it happens. Like, you're just walking around your inventory, you see something and you're like, huh, that silverware set, it's funny that that hasn't sold yet. And then a few days later, someone buys the freaking silverware set. It's bizarre, to say the least. So let me know down in the comments, has that ever happened to you? It has happened to me more than a handful of times. That's why every once in a while, if I, want something to move, I'll just kind of, what's on this shelf? What's in there? What could sell over here today? That's right. Matt says, speak your success into existence. That definitely helps. So if you want something to sell, just go yell at it in your inventory. Surefire way to get it to sell. Or send offers to watchers, whichever works best. It's just so funny how much things change over time, but some things just still reign true to this day. Something else that has changed a lot, and boy, oh boy, you guys blew up my comments on my shipping video talking about this. A lot of people say that I'm out of touch with eBay shipping just because, admittedly, I'm not selling as much on eBay. And so a lot of people mentioned that I'm really out of touch with shipping on eBay because there's now ground advantage. And in that last shipping video I did where I was struggling to fit something in a flat rate envelope, I'll link it down below in case you missed it. But in that video, a lot of people pointed out that I was just so out of touch and I should just ship at ground advantage. And why was I paying more for priority and all of these things? But the reason why, I'll just say this, the reason why I was doing priority instead of ground advantage, because I did look at both, ground advantage was a little bit cheaper. However, my buyer paid for priority shipping because I don't do free shipping. My buyer paid for priority shipping. So what kind of seller would I be if my buyer paid for priority shipping and then I sent it ground advantage and it took longer to get there? There is method to my madness. So yes, I know the ground advantage is a new thing. A lot of the times ground advantage is a lot cheaper to ship. However, I do sometimes still choose priority just because of speed. I did actually speak to an eBay rep about ground advantage. I had an issue with a package. It was a really heavy package, and I did have the option whether or not to do ground advantage or priority. And so I actually called eBay to talk to them because I was, still trying to understand the whole ground advantage thing. And what I found was ground advantage saved me about $7 on shipping this heavy package, but it was going to almost double the length of time it was going to take to arrive to the buyer. My buyer did pay originally for shipping, and they did pay for ground advantage. However, it was a very expensive, very heavy package. So I did opt to pay the extra $7 for priority just to make sure that it arrived more quickly to my customer because they did pay a lot of money for it. So yeah, ground advantage might be cheaper in a lot of circumstances, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pick it. You don't always have to pick the cheapest option, especially if you are charging shipping to your customer. But anywho's, I'm going to get to work on making some more reseller boxes and getting ready for tonight's member live stream. I just wanted to talk about eBay in that sense because it's so crazy. It's still true. And the reason why it's still true is because eBay has an algorithm, and you just got to show the algorithm some love. You can't ignore the platform. Now, what's funny is I haven't noticed this to be true on any other platform. I haven't noticed it to be true on Mercari. I haven't noticed it to be true on Poshmark. I haven't noticed it to be true on Facebook. It seems like it's only eBay. So there has to be something about eBay's algorithm that she's just needy. She's just needy. She needs to be looked at. She needs to be scrolled through. She needs to be shown some affection every once in a while. Otherwise, she's not going to produce results.
So for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time. I even think I mentioned that in a video years ago. Matt was saying, make it part of your nightly routine while you're laying in bed waiting to go to sleep and doing your doom scrolling, that you just scroll through eBay. I mean, yeah, just anytime you have some downtime, just open up the app, maybe open up some of your listings, move some pictures around, edit the title a little bit. I mean, that's part of, something that I've said for years is even if you can't list new things, even if you don't have the time to list a new item, make a change to the old listings that you have. Open up one that you already have listed, change the title up a little bit, shuffle some pictures around, maybe adjust the description. Making changes to current listings can be just as powerful as listing something brand new because it shows eBay that you're making an effort to sell your item. If it hasn't sold thus far, you're doing some sort of a change in order to show eBay that you want to sell it. But man, I could talk for hours on this, and I've got work to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Make sure to check the video description. I always put a lot of useful information in there. Questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below.
Get me in there.
Say hi. I'll see you guys with my next video. Bye.